So today is officially May the 4th be with you, so we're gonna take a look at my complete Star Wars movie collection. So let's get into it. Hello friends, and welcome back to the Brockopp side, a place for those who live talking by movies. And if you feel like you fall into one of those categories, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. But anyways, so, happy May the 4th, otherwise known as Happy Star Wars Day. And, well, you know, I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I've been collecting the movies and the TV shows and little, like, TV specials on and off for the last few years or so. I've accumulated a decent collection of Star Wars movies on various formats, so I figured, hey, why not share it on this most holy of Star Wars holidays? Without further ado, let's get started. So the very first thing we're going to take a look at is my Star Wars Trilogy box set. This is the really cool re-release from a few years ago, right before they released the special editions and right before the prequels came out. And I think a lot of people have some fond memories of having this particular box set. Now, this actually used to belong to my grandparents, and this is actually how I watched the original trilogy for the very first time, because I used to watch a lot of new movies at my grandparents' house. That's where a lot of my love of movies came from. And you know, I enjoyed watching little previews at the beginning of these, like saying, hey, own the Star Wars trilogy before it disappears like this. And then you got the interviews with Leonard Maltin and George Lucas, very memorable parts of the movie. And I also just really like the box art on these. You know, they're simplistic, but they're very iconic as well. And eventually, when my grandparents upgraded the trilogy to DVD, this was given to me, so this has some really nice sentimental value to it, and it's just one of my favorite VHS sets that I own. So as far as other VHS box sets go, I've got this one here, this Star Wars Trilogy box set. Now, this one's actually pretty cool because it's got this really cool slipcover on it. You don't see a lot of VHSs with slipcovers. This is when they were trying to make them look a little more uniform with each other, you know, because then Phantom Menace was coming out, so they had that VHS release, and they were making 2 more movies after that. But I really like these ones as well, and, yeah, this is just one that I ended up seeing at one of my favorite used video stores I go to a decent amount of the time, and I figured, hey, why not Star Wars on VHS? Yeah, I'll take it. So the only other VHS box set that I have would be, of course, the Star Wars Special Editions. You know, if you collect Star Wars movies on multiple formats, it's like, you know, of course you gotta have the Special Editions, even though you may not be the biggest fan of them, but, yeah, I mean, look at the artwork on these. These are really, really nice. Some gold finish to them, some new original artwork is really nice. Now, as far as the special editions themselves go, I mean, quite a bit of work was done to New Hope and Return of the Jedi. Empire Strikes Back, I actually don't fully mind the changes they made to that one. I feel like that one's the least muddled with as far as the original trilogy goes, so that's like the one special edition I could truly bear to watch. But I figure, you know what, just for collecting purposes, I really should have, you know, one of the special edition box sets on VHS. And, yeah, I mean, thrift store, like, $2. So, you know, for that price, why not? So I've got a couple, individual VHSs here as well. These are ones I kind of just picked up because they're cool or I've had them forever. So this one here, we've got Star Wars: A New Hope, back when it was only called Star Wars. And I believe this one was actually part of a box set as well, but I only picked it up because I really like the artwork. It looks really cool. That's one of the real fun things about VHS, is that the artwork often looks really, really cool. So I just really like the design of this one, and I do think this was part of another box set at some point, but yeah, just really cool. And then I've also got this copy of The Empire Strikes Back. Now, this was another one that was just kind of cool to have because I saw it at like a Goodwill or something. You know, it's got the original artwork on it, it's got this beta sticker on it. It just got a really cool retro look to it, and actually if you look at the tape here, it doesn't exactly look all that official, but yeah, I mean, it was really the artwork on this one that made me buy it, because, you know, it's the classic poster for it, and just, I really like the more vintage look to it, and, yeah. Empire. Happy 40th anniversary! And the very last Star Wars VHS I have is The Phantom Menace Episode 1. Now, this is kind of like that one box set from earlier where I said they were trying to make them look a little more uniform, because, yeah, this one looks pretty much in line with those ones. And, yeah, I think this is the only one of the prequel trilogy that got released to VHS. I could be mistaken on that. I think Episode 2 might have made it onto VHS, but, yeah, this is just a really interesting time capsule of sorts, because this was kind of in that transitional period where VHS was starting to get phased out, DVD was coming in, and, you know, I feel like if you own The Phantom Menace, you might as well have a VHS copy as well, and I think this is also one where my grandparents owned this copy, but then they got all the DVDs of the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, so they gave this one to me, so this one's got sentimental value to it. So those are all the Star Wars VHSs I own, so now on to the next format, which is, well, DVD. So this is a slightly incomplete DVD set of the prequels and the original trilogy. You'll see why in just one second. So I've got the Attack of the Clones on DVD, don't have Episode 1 on DVD just because I got the Blu-ray a while back, so I was like, yeah, I don't really care at that point. But, yeah, same thing. I think my grandparents had these, and then my grandpa just mistakenly bought these all over again, so they gave these to me. So this was also one of the first ways I ever saw the prequel trilogy, were on these particular DVDs, and I always like the artwork of these ones too, you know, especially how they're all uniform with each other. Then we got Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, so same thing, you know, very uniform looking box art, which I really like. And, yeah, the one problem with these is, well, these are the full screen versions, not the widescreen versions, so I have yet to rewatch this on one of my newer TVs, so I don't know how cropped or screwed up it'll look on a widescreen TV, so a little hesitant to do that, but, you know, still, these have a nice special spot right here. So now these three are some of my favorite parts of my Star Wars movie collection, because I of course have the original trilogy on DVD, but these are the super duper really cool, slightly valuable versions that on the second disc contain the original theatrical versions of the original trilogy. So of course disc 1 has the special editions like you'd find on, you know, these ones, I think with like maybe slightly different changes in there, and I think this is the only like real officially released versions of the original trilogy you can watch. There are things like Harmy's Despecialized Edition Blu-rays you can buy on like eBay, which I would like to get someday, but it's just really cool to have these ones here with the original theatrical versions on there. Now, from what I've heard, these are just transfers from the Laserdisc, so it's not like quite as pristine as it should be, but you know, still, it's just really nice to have an officially released version of these on disc. Like I said, I would like to get the Despecialized editions at some point, but for now, these will have to do. And, yeah, the only issue is, well, with Return of the Jedi, this one's full screen, but the other two are widescreen, so I mean, you know, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So as far as the Star Wars DVDs continue, I also have Star Wars Clone Wars Volume 1 and Volume 2. This was the original miniseries that I think aired on Cartoon Network, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, these were actually kind of hard to track down. Volume 1 wasn't so much. I could find it like every other time I go to a thrift store, but Volume 2 here, it actually took me several months to find a copy of it, and I have actually yet to watch these just yet. I've seen a little bit of like the 3D animated Clone Wars show that everybody loves, but yeah, I do intend to actually watch these at some point, and now that I have the DVDs, I have a better excuse to do that. So that's all the VHSs and DVDs of the Star Wars movies I own, so now we're on to the final part of it, which are the Blu-rays and 4Ks of the whole bunch. So just to start things off here, I've got the prequel trilogy on Blu-ray with this really cool looking box set. It's got some really nice artwork with Yoda and other characters on it. And yeah, I got this for a really good price at a used video store. And yeah, just really cool to have these movies on Blu-ray. And that's also why I don't have Phantom Menace on DVD, because I now have it on Blu-ray, so not really any particular rush to get the DVD since I could watch it in high definition. So then I've got Solo, a Star Wars story with the really cool Target exclusive with the digibook and all of that. And actually I did a Blu-ray review of this like 2 years ago, I think. So if you want to see more info on that, then go check that video over there. And actually, I think I was wearing this exact same shirt now that I'm thinking about it. Then moving on from there, we've got Rogue One, a Star Wars story. This is like the only one of the Disney-era Star Wars movies I don't own with any kind of special edition, because this is just a very basic Blu-ray of it. This is before they were releasing them in 4K. But honestly, I like the design of this one, you know, with a nice, you know, lenticular, cool, colorful slipcover that just, you know, has all kinds of trippy colors when you get in just the right light. And, yeah, I really like Rogue One, you know, I understand some of the criticism of it, but I think it's just a really solid, standalone Star Wars movie. And also, you know, we got the scenes with Darth Vader in the final battle, and just the CGI was really good, the cinematography was fantastic. So yeah, it just, I like Rogue One. You might not, but that's okay. So the only movie in the original trilogy that I own on Blu-ray is The Empire Strikes Back with the really cool steelbook. They re-released all the movies, you know, 1 through 6 with these cool steelbooks, and I didn't get any of the other ones like 4 or 6 because, well, these of course are once again the special editions, so I didn't really want to watch the HD versions of weird CG Jabba the Hutt and stuff in them. And like I mentioned before, Empire is like the least ruined of the special edition, so I figured, you know, it's the best movie of the original trilogy, and it's the least messed with, so, you know, I can bear to have that one on Blu-ray and all. Really nice steelbook, and I got the back right there, really nice artwork, and it looks really good on Blu-ray. I'm probably gonna upgrade to 4K eventually, since they re-released them all individually in 4K. And then going into the new trilogy, we've got Star Wars The Force Awakens. This was the Target exclusive, and this one's really cool because it's thinner than a lot of the other like digibook special Target exclusives. I really like the artwork on there. You got all the characters on there, you got some more character posters and stuff. And actually a funny story when I bought this one. So back in like spring 2016 when this came out, you know, bought this from Target because I wanted a really cool special edition. And when I bought it and got it home, there was like 2 bonus feature discs and not 1 feature disc, which was really weird. So I couldn't watch the movie on Blu-ray yet. I had to watch the bonus content only, which was just a really weird mix-up. So, you know, the next day, went back, exchanged it, the discs were proper that time. So, you know, just a weird little anecdote with this one, but yeah, I love The Force Awakens, and it's really cool to have the movie with this fun little format. So then I've got Star Wars The Last Jedi with this really amazing steelbook. Now, say what you want about the movie, I think it gets a little more criticism than it honestly deserves, but this steelbook artwork is just fantastic, you know, and you got, you know, Kylo Ren on the back there, Luke on the front, and this is just a really well done steelbook. This is the kind of artwork I really like to see on steelbooks. Now, for some reason, I didn't do a review of this steelbook when it came out back in early 2018. I don't really know what's up with that, but, yeah, you know, it's in 4K too, so that's really nice. And then the most recent addition to my Star Wars collection would be the Rise of Skywalker 4K steelbook. Now, this is just a beautiful looking steelbook as well. Kylo Ren, the blue and the red, Rey on the back there. Now, you know, this movie, I thought Rise of Skywalker was good, but it could have been significantly better than it was. But, you know, it's like, I still enjoyed the movie to an extent. So, of course, I wanted to own it, and I figured, why not have it with a really nice steelbook, since I've got, you know, this one on steelbook, and I got the other one with a really cool special edition. But, you know, that's enough talk about the sequel trilogy for one day. So, the very last one I've got here is Lego Star Wars The Padawan Menace. Now, Cartoon Network and Lego have done these kind of collaborations in the past where they'd have like 20-30 minute TV specials with these characters, and they release them on the Blu-ray and DVD, usually like a collectible minifigure attached to them, and this was one of them, and yeah, it's a fun time, you know, just fun, silly Lego Star Wars stuff, and this one actually came with a little young Han Solo minifigure, which I'm not quite sure where it is right now, but yeah, this is just a really fun kind of out there one, you know, not like connected to the trilogy, you know, just it's kind of its own thing, which is really fun. And, yeah, if you haven't seen it, maybe you should, consider doing that. So, if you want to see some more Blu-ray related videos, you can go check out this playlist right over here, and also you want to see what YouTube recommends you watch my channel, you can go check out that video right there. And of course, make sure you subscribe if you live talking by movies, and well, we'll see you on the Brockopp side.